What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, as always, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, man, I got a very nice, and this is going to be a demigod build in NBA 2K24, and this one today is going to be called the Diamond Interior Threat build made out of the power forward position. Now, what makes this build so special is that we're going to be able to get pro dribble moves and elite big man contact dunks, as well as the pro contact dunks. Now, for NBA players, this build is going to be reminding me of PAOLA, BANCHERO, and as for the attributes, the ones that can reach a 100 plus, it's going to be the driving and standing dunk, pass accuracy, interior defense, block, offensive rebound, and possibly even our stamina. Now, as for when it comes to badges, the ones that we were going to be able to get on Hall of Fame, these are going to be my favorite. Two-step, spin cycle, we also get break starter, post playmaker, and even special delivery. Now, as you can see from the gameplay, this build is really going to be reminding me of a slasher slash playmaking type of build, especially with a little bit of defense in it. Now look, before we get even further into this video, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for Thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. So to get started, we want to put this build under the power forward position, go with the height of 6'11", 240 for our weight, with a 7'9" wingspan. Now, moving on to the attributes, these are all going to play a huge factor with this build. Now, the first area that I do want to get into is going to be the stamina. So make sure you go ahead and put this up to a 96. As for when it comes down to our vertical, I'm going to go with the 76. Now, moving on to the strength, I'm going to put this up to an 84. And then as for when it comes to our acceleration, I like this best at a 62. Now, for our speed, I'm going to go with the 71. And with these numbers, remember, you get a +4 from the Gatorade facility workouts. So you're going to have a 75 speed, 66 acceleration, 88 strength, 80 vertical, with a 100 plus stamina. Now, I don't think the physicals can get much better. If you want to make adjustments, do it after we create the build and get this name. But moving on to the defensive end, for this defensive rebound, I'm going to put it up to a 77. Now, moving on to the offensive, put this up to a 92. As for the block, put this to the same exact number. And then as for when it comes down to our interior defense, I'm going to go with an 82. Now, leave the perimeter at a 41, 27 for the steal. And the badges that we do get just from a glance, I'm telling y'all, makes this build super special on the defensive end. Now, to get even more into the offensive side of things, I'm going to go with the pass accuracy up to a 92. Now, this really opens up the floor, especially for 5v5 game modes. Moving on to the ball handle, I'm going to go with the 68. As for the speed of the ball, I like this best at a 63. And I think these badges go perfect to make it a PAOLA BANCHERO build. Now, moving for the shooting, I'm going to go ahead and put my free throw up to a 71. Moving on to the mid-range shot, I'm going to go with the 76. And this right here is really going to open up the floor on the inside. We still got the finishing to get into. Now, with this mid-range shot, you're really going to be a huge threat on the interior, because once we go ahead and wrap up the finishing look, we're going to go ahead and put that standing dunk up to a 92. Now, moving on to when it comes to our driving dunk, I'm going to go with an 89. Now, this right there will unlock a lot of the contact dunks. As for when it comes to our driving layup, I'm going to go with the 70. The close shot is already set, and this is exactly what the build is going to be looking like. Now, remember, you get at least a +10 from 2 separate takeovers. Moving on to this build as far as for badges. For the post scoring end, the badges that do stand out from a glance for me are going to be Gold Fast Twitch, We're also going to be able to get badges like Pro Touch. Really, if you want to take anything into account, the main thing that I'm happy about for the finishing side of things is going to be Silver Posterizer. Now, other ones that I'm focused on are going to be Slithery. Like I mentioned earlier, we get a lot of Hall of Fame ones. As for when it comes to this build as a whole, I think it makes it really unique, especially taking into account what we can do on the interior. Now, I do like Precision Dunker, pairing it up with Fast Twitch and Rise Up. Moving on to the shooting, we get Blinders as well as Green Machine. Guard Up and Open Looks is pretty solid. Midi Magician with Space Crater. We also get Whistle and Spot Finder. I really think that on any build, free points is going to be an essential badge that you need to go after. That's just my opinion. Now, moving on to the playmaking side, we get Break Starter, also going to be able to get Dimer. Relay Passer, I think even when it comes to the ball handle side, Big Driver is a huge W, especially to be able to get it on the gold tier. We also get Blow By with Triple Strike. Moving on to the speed with ball, the same exact badges are going to apply here. But look, for the defensive end, my favorite one is going to be Anchor on gold, Silver Post Lockdown from there, and then Workhorse. Now for that block, now look, we also get Silver Chase Down Artist, this build, and this badge is a huge W in my book, especially for the defensive end. I like Post Playmaker, and then we're also going to be able to get Box Out Beast, Pogo Stick, Rebound Chaser, everything that you can possibly want and need out of a big man build. Now, this is really a hybrid. You can do a little bit of everything and really take it into any game mode and find success. Let me know right now your thoughts and opinions of this build down below. Are you going to go ahead and create it exactly how I brought it to y'all, or possibly remake your own version? Now, do keep in mind, if you change anything, even if it's one single attribute, the build name may change, but it's really going to affect the badges and possibly, depending on the area, the animations. So let's go ahead and move forward to make sure that we made the build correctly. And if you made it exactly how I brought it to y'all, following every single step of the way, we should be able to get these three comparisons. Now look, Paolo Banchero, I also do like Amari Stoudemire. And now as y'all can see together, we have created the best diamond interior threat build on NBA 2K24 and Next Gen. Now remember, the boost that I did mention earlier is going to play a huge factor with this build. If you want to go ahead and make any changes, go ahead and do so now. But you get at least a plus 10 to 15 towards these attributes, depending on if you're buying boosts, activating your takeover, and wearing certain gear. Now look, I just want to say thank y'all so much for the support. More so than anything, thank God for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, comment down TG for Thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from. And I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.